Imagine 13th century Delhi, the early years of the Sultanate, the battles for power and fierce warriors who had come from the far reaches of present-day Afghanistan and Turkmenistan, and then imagine a woman ruling over them. The story of Razia Sultan, the only woman to sit on a throne of Delhi, is confounding even today. In medieval India, the society controlled by men and the short 4-year reign of Razia is a significant milestone that makes her shine through the pages of history. Not just here, but across the world. A 13th century Persian historian, Miraj Siraj, wrote about her. He said, "She was a great monarch, wise, just, generous, benefactor to her realm, dispenser of justice, protector of her people and leader of her armies, and endowed with all the admirable attributes and qualifications necessary for a king." Miraj further went on to say that her only tragic flaw was that she was born a woman. This seems to sum up the life and struggles of the Razia Sultan. To understand Razia, we need to understand the society that she was born in. In 1192, Muiz-ud-Din Muhammad of Ghor defeated the Delhi ruler Prithviraj Chauhan in the Second Battle of Tahrin and opened the chapter of Islamic rule over Delhi. It was his general Qutbuddin Aibak who would become the first Sultan of Delhi and establish what would be called as a slave or Mamluk dynasty. The Delhi court was dominated by Turkic generals who were born slaves but has risen up the ranks based on their talent and brute force. In word of self-made men and monarchs, succession was naturally based on merit, and there were oftentimes multiple claimants. After the death of Qutbuddin Aibak in 1206, a brief battle of succession ensued before his son-in-law Iltutmish. Iltutmish was Delhi Sultan from 1211 to 1236 CE, blessed with 3 sons and 1 daughter. Few imagined that Iltutmish's choice of heir would be so controversial. But Iltutmish was a man way ahead of his time. Iltutmish is said to have decided to test his children after the ultimately death of his eldest son, Nasiruddin Muhammad in 1229 CE. This was his way of testing who would be the best suited to succeed him. So, during the Gwalior campaign in 1231 to 1232 CE, Iltutmish made Razia in charge of administration of Delhi. Razia is said to have managed the state affairs so well that her impressed father was so quick to make up his mind. When Iltutmish returned, he decided to formally nominate Razia as his successor. Not surprisingly, this caused anger among the Delhi noble. Things got ugly within a days of Iltutmish's death in 1236. The Turkish nobles and council disregarded Iltutmish's wishes and set up one of his sons, Ruknuddin Firuz Shah, on the throne instead of Razia Sultana. However, Ruknuddin Firuz Shah was incapable ruler. Later, he and his mother, Shah Turkan, soon got on the wrong side of the people and the nobles. Razia is said to have led a mass protest against her brother Ruknuddin Firuz Shah. Razia gave the speech from mosques to all the people and reminding all of them about her father's last wish. She gave this arousing speech dressed in a red, which was the color of protest. By winning over the army, governors, and the public, Razia disposed her brother and seized the throne for herself on 19th November 1236 CE and assumed the title for herself as the Razia-ud-Din. Interestingly, Razia's accession to the throne was not opposed by any religious ulema or orthodoxy, but the Mamluk nobility and close associates of Iltutmish. The nobles wanted to keep all the power in their hands and did not want a strong independent ruler on the throne. Like it often happens even today, the gender card was used to cover up their evil motive. soon the hatred against Razia grew. Opposition spread far beyond Delhi to the provinces of Multan, Lahore, Hansi. Razia managed to crush all of them bravely. Two of the most significant things for which the Razia's rule is remembered for are her administrative strategy and her bold public appearance. She tried to break the power of Turkic nobles who enjoyed a monopoly and raised non-Turks to higher position. She did this by tearing away the veil. As Amir Khusro, the renowned poet of Delhi, wrote in 13th century CE. He wrote that with the royal bow she tore away the veil. The lioness showed so much force that brave men bent down low before her. Conscious of her place in history, Razia also took on the title of Sultan. But fighting a social system that gives power and control to men rather than a woman was just one part of it. Razia also had to fight the Turkish nobility. She did this in right earnest by ensuring others got to high position. Razia promoted an Abyssinian slave, Malik Yaqut, to the position of Amir-e-Akhur, which is the master of royal stables, and very important job which was always reserved for Turkish nobles. This, however, led to worsening of the situation for her. Her most loyal nobles now turned against her. A slur campaign was launched, and there were even rumors that Yaqut was her lover. Interestingly, this was the main plot of the 1983 movie Razia Sultan, starring Bollywood actors Hema Malini and Dharmendra. However, it must be noted that there are no historic record to validate this theory, and it may have merely been an attempt to character assassination. Ultimately, the Turkic nobles succeed in putting Yaqut to death. In the face of so much opposition, it is not surprising that Razia's rule was short. In September 1240, within 4 years of taking charge, there was a coup against her and she was imprisoned at Bhatinda fort. And her brother Bahram Shah was put on a Delhi throne. There are few references to the immediate events then, but records show that Razia was down but not out. She is said to have won over her captor Altunia. Altunia was the governor of Bhatinda, and in what has been described as a wise political move. Razia married to Altunia, and soon Razia began to recruit a new force of Khokars, an agricultural community from Punjab and local landlords or zamindars. They marched out together to recapture Razia's lost throne. During their attempt, they were defeated twice by Malik Jalaluddin Balban, and Razia was murdered by local zamindars on 14th of October 1240 CE. She was just 35 years old, and after Razia's death, Balban became the next Sultan of Delhi. Thus ended the short and tragic rule of Razia, the first and the only female ruler of Delhi. We don't even know where she is actually buried. It is claimed that Razia's grave lies among the narrow lanes of Old Delhi. Another account claims that Razia was buried at Khaital, Haryana, and it is also believed that her grave may be in Tonk, Rajasthan. Razia's final resting place, like the final details of her life, remains elusive. All we know is that Razia was a trailblazer, a woman who ruled and fought in a man's world. No other woman could have made such a mark in a very short time and remembered even after 776 years. So here I complete this story of Razia Sultan. I hope you all liked the video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and like, share and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss a video. Thank you.